Itchy! Today, with permission from Scholastic, I'm going to read Junie B. Jones' Aloha, Chapter 2, and let me see how long that is. Chapter 2 is very long, so just Chapter 2. The children wrote in their journals forever, it seems. Then finally, they started to finish. And it was time at last. It was time for show and tell. My legs sprang up and they ran to me into the front of the room. Then I flinged myself in the air again and I shouted, "Vacation! Vacation! I'm going on vacation!" Only too bad for me, because when I came down from my fling, I lost my balance and landed on the floor again. This time, room one laughed their heads off. I tapped my finger, real annoyed. Okay, I've really got to knock off this flinging, I just said to myself. Mr. Scary quieted everyone down. Boys and girls, the reason Junie B is so excited today is that she didn't find out about her vacation until just last night. He winked at me. Tell everyone where you're going, Junie B. I took a deep breath. Then the words came hollering out. Hawaii, people! I'm going to Hawaii, and I'm going this very exact Sunday. All of the children's mouths fell open, except for not Richie Lucille's. Instead, Lucille stretched her arms in the air and she did a giant yawn. Hawaii, ho-hum, been there, done that, she said, real bored. Then she stood up and she twirled around and she sat back down again. My friend named Shirley stood up. Well, I've never been there, she said. I can't believe it, Junie B. You're really going to Hawaii? Yes, Shirley, really, I said. This was the biggest surprise of my career, I tell you. On account of last night, Daddy said he's going on a job interview in Hawaii, and he surprised me and Mother with 2 extra tickets. I skipped around, my teacher very joyful. And that's not even the bestest part yet, I said, because Daddy told me this trip is for big people only, and so my baby brother named Ollie is not even allowed. Room 1 looked shocked at that information. Wow, said my friend Jose, you mean you're big people, Junie B? I nodded my head real fast. Oh yes, Jose, I'm big people. All right, I said, that's how come I got to read the travel booklet with Mother last night, and the travel booklet says Hawaii is a real actual paradise. Mr. Scary grinned. A paradise, huh? That's a great word, Junie B. Does anyone know what paradise is? Sheldon shot his hand in the air. I do, he said. My grandpa, Ned Potts, has a paradise. He used to play craps in the gambling casino, but then someone squealed to Grandma, and so now he's not allowed out at night anymore. May jumped up and pointed. Sheldon said a bad word, she tattled real loud. Mr. Scary stared at her. May, dear, I'm very sorry to ruin this special tattling moment for you, he said, but Sheldon did not say a bad word. Craps is the dice game that's played at gambling casinos. May stood there a second. Well, at least I gave it a shot, she said. Then she did a shrug and sat back down. After that, Mr. Scary printed the word paradise on the board. He turned and looked at Sheldon. And Sheldon, my friend, he said, the word is paradise, not paradise. Sheldon did a shrug, too. I don't think Grandma really cares how you spell it, he said. Grandpa's still not getting out at night. Mr. Scary closed his eyes a minute. And then he went to the sink and he got a drink of water. On his way back, he stopped at the world map and the bulletin board, and he showed room 1 where Hawaii is. Boys and girls, these Pacific Islands are the main islands that make up the state of Hawaii, he told us. He got the world globe on the shelf, and he asked me to carry it around to show the children. I stopped at each desk. Wow, said Roger. Hawaii looks like a bunch of little dots floating in the ocean. I nodded. I know it, Roger, I said, but my mother said the dots are bigger in person. Mr. Scary laughed. Oh, they're much bigger in person, Junie B. And they're not really floating, Roger, so don't worry. Our friend Junie B won't be drifting away. May did a grump noise. Phooey, she said. I ignored that situation. Instead, I put the globe back and went to the front of the room again. I know other information about Hawaii, too, I said. Mother read there are lots of flowers and birds there. Plus, also she read that Hawaii was formed by exploding volcanoes. I thought for a second. She read a bunch of other junk, too, but I finally got bored and tuned her out. Mr. Scary did a chuckle. Well, volcanoes are pretty interesting, really. When volcanoes erupt, they spew out lava, and over millions of years, lava can form land masses, he explained. As a matter of fact, there are still 2 active volcanoes in Hawaii right now. I stood there real quiet, and I let that information sink in my head. Then all of a sudden, I did a little shiver. Ugh. Okay, see, I wasn't actually aware of the eruption problem, I said. May jumped up again. Well, I'm sure glad that I'm not going to Hawaii, she hollered. Who wants to get erupted by a spewy hot volcano? Getting erupted on by a spewy hot volcano would ruin your whole vacation trip. Mr. Scary sucked in his cheeks. Junie B is not going to get erupted on by a spewy hot volcano, May, he said. There are no active volcanoes on the island where Junie B is going. May thought a minute. Okay, fine, but let's just say that she did get erupted on by a spewy hot volcano. That would definitely ruin her whole vacation trip. True or false? Mr. Scary went to the sink again. This time he splashed water on his face. After he dried off, he put May back in her chair. I waved my hand to talk some more. Yali, I didn't even tell everyone the most exciting part. Because guess how I'm getting to Hawaii, people? Guess, I said. No, wait, I'll give you a hint. After that, I straightened out my arms like wings, and I zoomed around room 1. See, people, see me? I'm flying. That's how I'm getting to Hawaii. I'm flying in a real, actual airplane. Lucille stood up and did another yawn. Airplane schmairplane, she said. Tell me something I haven't done. Mr. Scary sat her down. This is going to be an amazing adventure for you, Junie B, he told me. He grinned real big. And just to be sure that you bring back lots of wonderful pictures, I bought you a little gift for your trip. He went to the closet and took out a shopping bag. I hurried and peeked inside. And wowie, wow, there was a camera in that thing. I quick pulled it out and showed the class. Look, people, look. It's the kind of camera you get at the drugstore, I said. I'm excellent at this equipment because I already used one to find my class on my class trip in kindergarten. After that, Mr. Scary reached into the bag and pulled out another gift. And take a look at this, Junie B. This is called a photojournal, he said. A photojournal is similar to the first grade journals we use in class each day, except for a photojournal tells a story in photographs instead of words. He opened it for me. See inside? Each place has a place for a daily picture and a caption. A caption is another name for a picture title, he explained. He showed the album to the class. Every day, Junie B will take pictures of what she did on her trip, he said. Hold on, I'll show you the picture. Did I miss a picture? No, it's no picture so far. Just a... Then she will organize her photos and give them captions, and when she comes back to school, her photojournal will tell us the story of her exciting trip to paradise. He handed me my album. Doesn't that sound like a fun assignment, Junie B? I started to nod. Then I stopped because something didn't sound right about that sentence. I tapped on my chin. It was the word assignment, I believe. Finally, I looked at my teacher. Okay, here's the problem. I said assignment means schoolwork and Hawaii means vacation, and children do not actually like to mix those two items. Mr. Scary smiled. Oh, but this will be a fun assignment, Junie B, he said. And it's a very special assignment, too. You're going to be room 1's first official photojournalist. My ears perked up at that. Official? I said. Did you say the word official? He grinned. Yes, I did. That's exactly what I said. Official. I looked at him. Official means important, right? Oh, yes, he said. You can't get much more important than being official. I stood up a bit straighter. Official makes you automatically taller, I think. After that, Mr. Scary shook my hand, and he walked me back to my seat. Oh, he said, and don't forget to take your first grade journal to Hawaii with you. Okay, Junie B, it'll be a terrible shame to miss the whole week of journal writing, wouldn't it? I looked at him real strange. Teachers and children do not have the same kind of brains. Finally, I did a sigh, and I took out my journal and I dropped it in the bag with my camera. My friend named Herbert turned around very excited. You're a lucky duck, Junie B. Jones, he said. I wish I was going to Hawaii next week. Me too, said Lenny. Me 3, said Jose. I looked at May. She did not say me 4. Instead, she just kept staring straight ahead, and she didn't talk at all. I did a shrug and went back to my own business. Then suddenly, without warning, May shot her arms up in the air, and she hollered the word, kaboom! She looked at me and smiled. That was the sound of a spewy hot volcano erupting on you, she said. I sat there a second. Then I did another shiver. May is not amusing. Okay, and the next chapter is chapter 3, called New Friend. And we will read that next time. Okay. Bye, 1HG. I miss you. See you next time.